Welcome to Faith and Flourish. I'm Sherelle Beverly. I wanted to come and talk to y'all about a few things, kind of a little bit of a testimony, although I probably always give my testimony, so enjoy. But what I wanted to talk about, and sorry about my dog in the background, he just won't leave my side. But what I want to talk about is really just the dangers of sex before marriage. And look, I am not your girl to preach to you. And I'm sorry about I'm using my laptop camera. But I'm sorry, I'm not the girl to preach to you about being righteous and stuff like that. Because trust me, your girl was in these streets, okay? Not in the streets, but I was not convicted before my life with Jesus. There was no conviction. I was promiscuous. You know what I'm saying? Like on a low tip, on a low key tip, but nonetheless, it was still that, I was focused on my career, just school. I wanted to go to medical school. I wanted to be a doctor. And so I wasn't, impressed about men. And I just thought that the only thing they could serve was a friend with benefits. So that's once I got out of my 6 year relationship, that's what I was looking for, friends with benefits. And again, I'm still in that mindset. Again, at this point in my life, I was an atheist. I did not necessarily believe in. I didn't believe in God. So and so basically, in my journey of coming out of that 6 year relationship, I went back to my life before that relationship. And, I just started having friends with benefits. I was like, I don't have time for a relationship. I just want a friend and I really did want a friend, not just the benefits. And, you know, anyways, what I want to sum this up and say is that journey, I mean, the journey of me having sex before marriage, like the after part, it just led to a bunch of pain and abortion and just toxic relationships. And it's crazy when I started hearing from God when I was getting out of, or I wasn't getting out. I had started this friends with benefits with this guy who I found out he was married. Anyways, it was a whole emotional roller coaster. I just want to also say that, guys, we think that toxic relationships just can be toxic if it's just physical, but that is completely not true. I mean, there's emotional, you know, uh, financial, just, psychological, just a bunch of toxicity that can come out of that. And you don't realize how much that you are in that type of relationship and you just don't know it. But I realized that a lot of my life I've been in these type of relationships and I just couldn't identify it because the physical part wasn't there. And so, anyways, long story short, so I was trying to get over this guy. I come out of the 6 year relationship, then had met this guy. He was married and took me on this little emotional roller coaster. And so I was trying to get over him, and I met this guy who I ended up really liking. He was another friends with benefits. So I was like, okay, again, I only wanted to be with one friends with benefit at a time, right? So once I found one, I try to leave the other. I did leave the other one alone, and I would, be with this one. Okay. And again, I'm a woman. I don't, at that point in my life, and not really until, coming recently into this knowledge about men, thanks to Tony Gaskins. I'm going to shout him out because he definitely saved my life. Honestly, he was really the first person that I wanted to, I knew I needed to pursue a godly relationship, okay? Just from his talk. But y'all go watch his channel. Just type his name, you'll find him. It's amazing. So, anyways, I I I was trying to heal from this guy, and I felt like I heard God's voice say, because I was like, I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. I was just really detoxing. Again, soul tie. I was detoxing from a soul tie, just FYI. So, but of course, I didn't know that's what it was. I just knew I was depressed. It was just a whole lot. And I felt like I heard this voice or a push toward being abstinent. And so, And this was during the same time that I was talking to the new friends of benefit that I really liked. And, he understood it. So we continued to be friends or whatever, we talked. And then this one time, we were friends and we were chilling. We could chill in front of each other and not have an issue. But that one time, just that one time, slipped up, got pregnant, okay, had an abortion, and took me on the worst depression of my life, okay? So, anyways, but thank God in that journey, I found God. He was the only thing that healed me. Again, and this was at the time I still told him that I still don't believe in Jesus and I still don't believe in the word of God. Okay? I told God just like that, straight up. But he answered my prayers. He answered my prayers. And so I knew, I felt his presence. Whenever I was depressed, I didn't know how to talk to him. Again, coming from an atheist, I started out my prayer like, Lord, I don't know if you hear me. I don't know how this thing works, whatever. But he answered my prayers right there. That's why I'm so sold out for God, y'all. Like, he been with me. So, anyways, uh, long story short, I'm gonna keep saying that. And it's probably not gonna be a long story short. But anyways, so okay, so that's one led to a abortion, right? Okay. So then I had healed. I was in a good place, working on my master's degree, working for working for family, and I liked the job, okay? And so I was even looking for a relationship, but the guy lived in my apartment complex, y'all. Okay. And so and again, I felt like I had been healed. I try to get over stuff easily, even if it hurts me. I'm a person, just keep it pushing, and you'll always see me smiling. That's just who I am. And I'll be smiling at home too, but of course, a strong, when you're strong, it does eat you up inside. So don't ever just leave those emotions unchecked, because it will blow up some type of way. Just FYI, yeah. If y'all anything like me, okay. And so met this guy, and I'm gonna be very transparent with everything. I have only dated like black guys and African guys. Like, right, that was my type. I loved African guys, but I did not ever want to date anybody outside my race ever. I did not want to date Caucasian men. You know, this was a Caucasian guy that had walked up to me. He lived in the same apartment complex. And I told him immediately when I when I met him, I was like, I don't like white guys, and what his situation, I was like, and I don't, that's not what I'm looking for. But anyways, I am a really nice person, and so I build a relationship with him, like like build a friendship. But he made me laugh. He was amazing in the beginning, right? Again, noted, guys. Sorry, men, they present their representative. Know that. But to be fair, women do too. But it's on a serious tip. I'm talking to the women, because I know y'all need to protect your heart. So know that men are going to present to you their representative, and this was exactly that. I can remember the first argument when it turned. The first argument when I realized the guy that I had met, this white guy that I met, he was not that guy. And then I met the real him. And the real him was just toxic, abusive, it was all of that. Every level of it, that's what it was, and I didn't know how to handle that. I had never been in anything like that, because I never been talked down by like a black guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, I never had an issue in relationships. I'm a very easygoing person, and I get along with a lot of people. And so it just wasn't hard, uh, usually to get along with me, and it wasn't hard for me to get along with guys. And so anyways, it was bad, y'all. But thank God, it only lasted a year and a half, but it's still no, it still took me down. It took away, it depleted me financially, it depleted me emotionally. I lost who I was. I didn't understand who I was anymore. And that's why I stressed in my previous videos that if you are in a bad relationship, know that those surroundings, you're going to become those surroundings. And I became angry. I became, all of this. And so the fighting got physical because I also got physical. You know what I'm saying? Like I and so and he's like, okay, next level. All right. So that's what it was. But I want to say that if I hadn't have had sex with him, there wouldn't have developed a soul tie. You know what I'm saying? And that soul tie creates confusion, confusion. And if you're following God and now but then you're being obedient, been disobedient to what his word says. He spoke his word. That means that he's not going back on his word. So if you're any type of confusion or like, oh, should I have sex with him? The answer is absolutely not. Absolutely not. And if he doesn't wait for you, let him leave. You are a jewel. You are the prize. You have so much value in you. Do not waste your time, you know, or because you're going to be wasting your time. Ultimately, what I want to say, I'll say it toward the end, but basically, I'll say it. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your own time. So even after all this pain, I could have been the victim and said, like, oh, he wasted my time. You know, he did this, he took me down, stuff like that. But the truth is, I wasted my own time. The truth is, I heard from God and I disobeyed it. Then, all right, so that was that. So abortion, toxic relationship. Again, that wasn't the first. Of course, there were other ones in the past, but that was the one that took me down. And so 2018, the beginning of 2018, had just graduated, finished my master's, and had, and then differences. I was an independent contractor working for my cousins. Basically, he didn't like my position to go to school. He didn't like how that was going to work out with my schedule, and I needed to be in the office. Anyways, he ended up forcing me to resign, fire me. That's what he ended up doing. So, I lost my job. So it was a month after I graduated. I lost my job trying to get out of this abusive relationship and also trying to move in the process. So, but I was at the abusive relationship, but I was trying to get him out of my house, right? And so that was hard. I didn't really know how to do that. I don't know what it was. It's something that happens to you after those, and you're not the same person. Your decisions aren't rational at all. And so, anyways, then the ex calls, or the ex friend with benefit calls. And we had established a friendship over these years, right? So now at this point, it had been like 5 years or so that we had known each other, and so I had developed a friendship with them. And anyways, he he came back and he said he was like he knew I was busy a lot of times. Like I wasn't gonna be talking to him because he knew I was kind of I was in a relationship. But we had been talking before that relationship, and he was like, I can't believe you picked me over a white guy. Anyways, came back into my life and find out, he had gotten back with his ex too and had a whole baby, right? A whole nother baby. And so, anyways, point is, he came back and he said it was urgent. He had to talk to me. He poured out his feelings and all this stuff, and he was like, I get it now. You're my wife. All right. So, now I'm thinking like, oh man, have I heard from God? I don't know. Anyways, go through all this confusion. It was another 2 year wilderness that ended up being another toxic relationship. It ended up being the both of us healing from that pain, but because I already knew I was called to be a wife, here I am being that wife because he said that, right? I'm being that. Knowing that I had just found out he had been misleading in the past. I found out he was married because when I was talking to him, I confided in him. He was like my best friend, and I confided about him, about other people and stuff like that. And so he knew, our business. I never hid anything. But I remember being frustrated at one point and saying like, oh my gosh, like I'm so tired of dealing with these men who are always married. And then something in my spirit was like, ask him, is he married?